Oh, hello there. I didn't realize you were here already. I'm so glad you could join me today. Welcome to my channel. This is my first ever YouTube. Actually, that's not true. This is not my first ever YouTube video. I have made a YouTube video before, but that was in like 2014, and it's what you would call embarrassing. So that's kind of hidden away, and that's not really out there in public for y'all to see. But this is my first experience creating like an actual real YouTube channel. So yay! Well, guys, I'm so excited you could join me today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm EJ, and I'm making YouTube videos reacting to BLs. I love to watch BLs, and I've seen so many BLs, Korean BLs, Japanese BLs, Taiwanese BLs, Chinese BLs, Thai BLs, Filipino BLs. I've seen so many of them, and I love them so much, and I thought, why not make videos about my experience with the world of BL? So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to be reacting to BLs, watching BLs with you guys and kind of reacting to them sometimes doing reviews of BLs and stuff, and hopefully we kind of have a good time together and enjoy ourselves, okay? Let's get into it. For today, the very first video in this new series of BL reactions, I'm actually doing a review, not a reaction. So, South Korea, they just had their very first ever gay reality dating show. And I know it's kind of crazy, it's kind of wild. I never really expected that something like this was gonna happen. I don't know, maybe I kind of did, I don't know. They've been kind of doing really good with the BL industry lately, so maybe things was kind of heading this direction anyway. But I'm not really into reality dating shows. They're just not really my thing. But I decided to give this a try because it's South Korea, and I literally watch everything that comes out of South Korea. They are the best at everything, so why not? And let me tell you, I was not disappointed. I loved it. I lived through the entire experience with these men. I laughed, I cried, I felt all the emotions, and it was amazing. This was a really good reality dating show. And for the first ever, I thought it was so well done, so well produced. I feel like perhaps they might have had like limited resources to work with because, I don't know, like this is something very new for South Korea. They probably might have had some pushback, but they did so amazing with whatever it is they had, and I was very impressed. So we're gonna review the show today. South Korea's very first ever reality dating show, gay reality dating show, His Man. Let's get into it. For today, I decided that to kind of help me with reviewing the show, I'm going to rank each of the cast members of the show in order of my least favorite to my favorite, and I'll just kind of talk about each of them as I go through the ranking. Disclaimer before we get into all of that. These are just my personal feelings based on what I saw on the show. I am not trying to speak for everyone, And I'm not trying to speak about their character or who they are outside of the show or whatever. I'm just talking about things that I saw from the show, okay? This is just personal opinion and it don't mean nothing. It's a grain of salt. So please do not take all of this completely literally. I'm just sharing personal opinion here. And I know a bunch of you might not agree with the things that I talk about, and that's completely fine. If you disagree about something I say about someone, feel free to talk about it in the comment section. I don't mind. Just be kind and respectful when you talk about it, okay? I would appreciate that. Sound good? Yes, thank you. Now let's get into this. I'm so excited. His Man was an amazing show and I can't wait to talk about each of the members of the show. So I'm going to start from the very bottom and work my way to the top, and coming in at the least favorite spot for me is going to be Hyukjun. I know a bunch of you are probably not going to be happy about this placement. That's completely fine. For me, Hyukjun is at the bottom of my list, and I will explain why. Hyukjun was actually pretty popular. He was one of those, like, in the show that just had, like, multiple guys who were interested in him. And it was cool. He's a nice looking guy. I don't think he's the best looking one. I don't even think he's second or third or fourth or fifth. I don't know. He's handsome, okay? Every single person in this cast was freaking handsome. They were beautiful, but that's besides the point. That hair, oh my God, please, that is unforgivable. That hairstyle, like, this man is a whole ass stylist. He's a hairstylist, and that's what he does with his own hair. I hate that hairstyle. I cannot. It's unforgivable. It does not work. But that's not the reason why he gets the least place ranking. So Hyukjun, he wasn't always in the last place for me, okay? I would say my feelings about him kind of started to change a little, I think around I think it was episode 8, or it might have been I don't remember exactly what episode it was. I think it was 7 or 8. But anyway, I saw something in that episode and it changed my entire perspective of Hyukjun. Just a little background leading up to what happened, what I saw in that episode. So this other guy, Changmin, the most popular one, had chosen Hyukjun as his roommate. And Hyukjun before that had been receiving a bunch of attention, and he kind of liked it, but I mean, I didn't really think much of it because, I mean, if a bunch of people were giving me that much attention, I'd be kind of into it too. I'd be happy. I mean, shit, give me all the attention. Thank you, please, yes. Changmin chose Hyukjun as his roommate, and but they didn't really get along well as roommates. Like, they barely ever spoke to each other. Things were just really awkward between them. And then right after that, they were supposed to like send letters to each other, and Changmin sent a letter to someone else. So Hyukjun and Changmin had a little bit of a meeting after this date, like the letters they sent and stuff. And Hyukjun confronted Changmin and was like, why did you choose me as roommates and then basically didn't choose me for your date? And Changmin was like, I don't really put any kind of significance on the whole roommate thing. I just chose a roommate. And besides, I actually wanted to room with the other guy, but I thought he wanted to be alone, and that's why I chose you. But I like the other guy, and I'm not changing my mind about it. And Hyukjun was hurt. He was legit hurt. You could see the hurt on his face. And I was like, I was trying to understand that hurt, where it was coming from. I realized it was his pride was hurt. I mean, no, it wasn't just like he was disappointed that he didn't get to be with Changmin, who he kind of liked. It was that he was expecting Changmin to give him attention, and Changmin flat out refused that attention, to give him that attention, and he was hurt because of it. And I thought that was so interesting. And right after Changmin, the next guy came in, and it was a guy that Hyukjun didn't choose, but had sent a letter to Hyukjun. And immediately Hyukjun lit back up because here was someone that was there to give him that attention. And then the next guy came in and also gave him even more attention, and he lit up even more. And I realized, I think Hyukjun is a little bit of a narcissist. I think he really enjoys getting attention. And when he couldn't get attention from the one person who was the most popular person, it hurt his pride. It hurt him. And I realized, I don't think I really like him very much. Anyway, in the show, not as a person. But here's another thing that I realized about Hyukjun. For the people that were giving him attention, he never actually he never made anything clear with any of them. He was trying to keep them giving him attention and not lose someone else. So let me explain what I mean by that. So with Jungho, for example, he was really shocked when Jungho said that he kind of liked him. And he didn't have any kind of feelings toward Jungho. Oh my God, the names, there's so many names and I'm getting confused by the names. Anyway, he didn't have any kind of feelings toward Jungho at first, but Jungho gave him some attention and he grabbed onto it and he was like, oh, I think I might change my mind about you. I think I might be interested in you a little bit. And then Sanyo, he had a little bit of a conversation with Sanyo, and they were roommates at first. And Sanyo was like, I kind of like you, whatever, whatever. And he was like, I'm not sure if I like you, or if I like you as a friend because we're the same age. Mans did not like Sanyo. It is so clear. There is nothing you can tell me. Hyukjun did not like Sanyo at all. There's nothing you can tell me to make me believe that Hyukjun liked Sanyo. But he didn't want to lose that attention that Sanyo was giving him, and that's why he kept telling Sanyo, I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure if I like you, or if I like you as a friend because we're the same age. It was all shit, honestly. So I just really wasn't vibing for him, and that's why he's kind of like my least favorite among all the members. He was also the center of like the whole drama that happened between Sanyo and Jungho in episode 8, I believe it was. Like Sanyo legit was about to fight. It was wild. I was living for it. I was like, drama! I love good drama, okay? But anyway, he was the reason for that whole thing. Anyway, Hyukjun comes last for me. And again, this is not like any telling about anything having to do with his character or anything like that. I'm sure he's a really great guy, except for that hair. He needs to get rid of that hairstyle. He needs to do something else because what the fuck? It's just, it is what it is. Coming next after Hyukjun is gonna be Sanyo, the oldest of the house. I mean, I don't actually know if he is the oldest because he and Hyukjun are the same age, but they never say what month they were born. So I don't know who is older, but he looks the oldest. So I'm just gonna say that Sanyo is the oldest, okay? Sanyo hurt my man. And you know what? That was unforgivable for me. So Sanyo gets a very low ranking for me. Sanyo, I think the reason why he gets this low ranking is because honestly, it's a lack of maturity for me. He is the oldest of the house, but he was honestly kind of the most immature of all of them. Honestly, here's the thing about Sanyo. From the beginning, he kind of had his mindset on Changmin. Changmin was Mr. Popular. Everyone had their mindset on Changmin. But anyway, he had his mindset on Changmin, and there was someone else who was trying to give him some attention, who kind of liked him, who he went on a date with and was kind of into him. And he turned Changyu down because of his thing that he had for Changmin. Changmin did not even know this man existed. I swear to you, I'm so sure that Changmin legit did not even register that Sanyo existed. But Sanyo was so stuck on him. this is where I started having a problem with Sanyo, because he went on a walk with Changyu. Changyu had already made it clear that he was interested in Sanyo. And Sanyo went on a walk with Changyu, and his goal was to turn Changyu down. But the way he did it is where I started having a huge problem, because instead of straight up being like, I'm not sure I'm into you like that, Sanyo decided to be like, well, you're giving me so much attention. I feel like you might be missing out from all the other guys because they might see that you're giving me so much attention and you're just gonna be missing out. It was a whole load of shit. It was stupid. It was nonsense. It didn't make any sense. It was dumb. And he hurt Changyu, and that made me mad. So I was like, son, you ain't shit. But his love interest changed, because after they switched roommates, he lost Hyukjun as his roommate, and then he was like, oh, I think I kind of like Hyukjun. So he started expressing his interest in Hyukjun. And that was fine. I was like, okay, the two oldest, they can get together, they can get it, that's fine. Have fun, do your thing. But then Hyukjun had Jungho, who was also interested in him. And when they moved to the campground and they had to choose roommates again, Sanyo and Jungho both said that they wanted to be roommates with Hyukjun. And then Hyukjun had to choose who he would room with. And Hyukjun chose Jungho. And Sanyo got mad. I was like, what is happening right now? He's literally the oldest person here. And he's literally throwing a temper tantrum like a child. He legit got so mad. He grabbed Changyu and was like, let's go to our room. He grabbed his bags. He went to the room. Jungho was feeling bad, so Jungho went to go try to talk to him, and he legit ran away from Jungho and was like, I'm not talking to you right now. This man was pissed, and it was very insensitive, because there was Changyu. Changyu had to room with whoever Hyukjun didn't choose. He was just completely insensitive of Changyu, because he knew at some there was a point where Changyu was interested in him, and here he was throwing a tantrum because he couldn't get to be roommates with Hyukjun. And it was very insensitive, it was very immature, and I was not living for it. And so, I don't know, Sanyo just didn't really do it for me. I will say this about Sanyo. In the very beginning, he seemed, honestly, he seemed like he was gonna be so cool and so mature, because he made dinner for them the very first night. He brought wine for them because he's a sommelier. So I don't know if that's how you say that word. Anyway, he brought wine for them. And let me tell you, there was a scene where he carried 6 glasses in one hand. That was hot. That was legit. That was really hot. And I was into it. Anyway, moving on. Up next is, I think a lot of you are gonna be mad about this placement, but this is just my personal placement. Up next is Mr. Popular himself, Changmin. I'm waiting for all the boos and all the attacks and everything, because I know y'all are gonna be mad about this, but I have a reason for this placement, okay? Changmin comes in 6th place for me, or there's 8 members, right? So yeah, he comes in 6th place for me, because for the last 2, they came in like those places because of, in my opinion, bad personality, or just not the best personality. For me, Changmin comes in 6th place because it's given no personality. Changmin is lacking personality, honestly. That's just how I feel it. That's just my take on it. Because, let me tell you, Changmin was just there. He was just there. Besides the fact that he was very popular, and the only reason he was very popular is because he's tall, he's handsome, he's mysterious, he's shy, he kind of keeps to himself, and I don't know what it is about Korean people loving tall, handsome, mysterious men. But Mans was just there. He had no contribution, honestly, besides being popular. For the most part, he was very clueless, very, very clueless. But I didn't hate it. I enjoyed him, honestly. It wasn't giving much, but I enjoyed what it gave. He had a cute little love evolution with Jung, and I was living for it. I loved it. It was so cute. It was so great. And I was so happy that they did end up together in the end. So that was amazing. There wasn't really anything that annoyed me about Changmin. Um, but there was just one thing that was kind of a bit weird. Like the very first night after they all met each other, they had to go give a phone call to someone in the house, anyone at all. Changyu, who was sleeping on the same bed as Changmin, decided to call Changmin. And that was a really hard decision for Changyu to make. Like, it was really hard for him to make that call. But he did it anyway. He mustered up the courage and he called Changmin. And I think the only thing is just I didn't really like the way Changmin handled that situation because like he just kind of made things more awkward for Changyu. And I don't know, I thought he could have been like a bit like, he could have made it a bit chiller. He could have been like, oh, don't worry about it. You called me, it's fine. Let's take care of each other. Because that's what Changyu said in the call. He was like, I'm just calling so that we could take care of each other from now on. And he could have just said that. He could have just been like, let's take care of each other. Yes, let's do this and lighten up the situation a little bit. But like I said, he wasn't really giving much at all. He was just there and mostly clueless for the whole part. But when he was stuck on Junghyun, he was stuck on Junghyun. He liked that man and he wasn't changing his mind for nobody. He even told Hyukjun, he was like, Hyukjun, I'm not changing my mind, and that's on period. And let me tell you, I liked that because I like a person who is sure about what they want and sticks to what they want, and that's what he did. So Changmin, he is good, okay? He's good. I'm happy with him. Let's move on. Coming in 5th place, it's the newest member, Jungho. Jungho comes in 5th. Honestly, this was kind of hard for me. It was between Jungho and Hyun. And Hyun comes in 4th place. And Jungho comes in 5th place. And I kept going back and forth and being like, Hyun comes in 5th place, Jungho comes in 4th place, or whatever. But I just decided to settle with this. Jungho in 5th place. And the reason is, Jungho is, honestly, he's amazing. I really liked him right from when he arrived. He came in last in the show, and he had like a date with Enchan. He brought these flowers. They were so pretty, those flowers he brought for Enchan. Jungho was always very vocal about his feelings. And he was very direct, very straightforward, which I really loved. He had a great personality, honestly. He was very, very kind to Changyu, which I really appreciated as well. I felt really sad for Changyu because Changyu kind of liked him, but he had already decided that he liked what's his name, Hyukjun, and so it's fine. But he was good. He was kind. His fashion, oh my god, his fashion was, oh my god. Like him and Hyun, they were the fashionistas of the house because they ate every single time they stepped out. They ate. They looked good, and I was living for it. So Jungho was amazing. I loved how direct he was, and I loved when he really liked someone, he really expressed it. That's what he did with Hyukjun. He really expressed that like that he had for Hyukjun, and I was fine with it. Also, Jungho had a moment where he really opened up about some very deep and very personal things having to do with his coming out experience. That was a very vulnerable moment. And the fact that he was willing to be that vulnerable, not just with all these strangers that he just met besides Hyun, but also with the whole world, because this is something that was being aired and that was gonna go everywhere. But he was vulnerable. He opened up about that experience. It made me, I literally cried during that when they shared that experience together. I cried so hard. but it helped me grow a deeper connection and I don't know, a deeper connection to him. So Jungho gets fit. Hyun comes next. Hyun comes in fourth place. And I really like Hyun because Hyun is the life of the motherfucking party, okay? Hyun right from the get-go. He also came in a bit late, just before Jungho, but Mads really lightened up the mood, and I was there for it. Hyun and Jungho have, I would say, very similar personalities. They also come from a very similar scene, which is why they knew each other. Hyun is a drag queen, which I live for, and his drag name is Sissy. If I ever go to Korea, I really have to go see one of his shows because, yes. Honestly, I just love Hyun's personality because where Changmin was lacking personality, Hyun had a lot of it. And he was bright, he was happy, he was bubbly, he lightened up the mood, he made everything a party, and I loved it. As far as like the love interest part of it, he didn't really do much there. He was interested in Hyukjun first. He went on a date with Hyukjun. It was a really cute date. They had a great time together, and then he kind of had an interest in Changmin a little, so they roomed together. But I don't know, he just didn't really have a lot of luck in the dating department because everyone was so stuck on Changmin and Hyukjun, which, I don't know. Anyway, Hyun's personality was so great. He was a part of the Laughing Sisters, which I live for that group. The Laughing Sisters are Hyun, Junghyun, and Enchan, and they were just always together. They would literally always sit right next to each other. They do their makeup together, they laugh together, gossip together, and all of that, and it was great. I loved them. The Laughing Sisters were awesome, and Hyun was he was that person. He was just a great person. And I think Jungho had an amazing personality and was a really good person, and I think I just put Hyun just a step over Jungho just because I really like that bubbly, bright personality in people. Also, he can be serious when he needs to be serious because, I mean, he had that moment where they were talking about their coming out experiences with each other, and he basically led that whole discussion when they played the Jenga game. So when he needs to be serious, he can be serious, and I just also really enjoyed that about him. So Hyun comes in fourth place for me. I really want to hang out with them, Hyun and Jungho. I just want to, they're so great. Jungho vogues. He's a Vogue dancer and a modern dance dancer. They're amazing. And now in third place, Junghyun. Junghyun, the matinee of the house, the youngest of the house, comes in third place. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure that I was gonna like Junghyun at first. I thought he was gonna be the villain of the house. I mean, Enchan even said it too. He was like, I think Junghyun is the villain. And I mean, it kind of made sense because he came in and was calling everyone Hyung from the get-go, and they didn't know their age or anything, but he was like Hyung, 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 and everyone was like, why are you assuming that we're older than you? And then it all made sense when they finally revealed their ages. And this child is 21 years old. He's literally 21 years old. And that's Korean age, actually. So he might even be 20. He's literally a child. Just to give you a bit of context, the second youngest person is 25. So there's literally a 4-year difference between him and the second youngest person, and everyone else is older than that. So it was like, whoa. Much like Hyun was the life of the party, Junghyun was also kind of that person. He had a big personality. He had a big presence, and I enjoyed it. I really did. He had a thing for Changmin, and he was so set on that Changmin thing, and it worked out for him, and I was so happy for him because they look so cute together. Honestly, they look amazing together. So I couldn't be mad about it. Jung, he kind of, before Hyun came in and joined the group, he was the person who would lighten up the mood and make everything all fun and exciting. I don't know. I really appreciate him, even though he's a child, but he's also so beautiful. Oh my God. Like he literally looks like a K-pop star. Like that face, that he's so beautiful, um, which makes me a little bit jealous, but I'm beautiful too. I mean, look at me. Anyway, I really like Jung, and I think he gets third place for me just because I love the whole progression he had throughout the show. I loved his dedication to Changmin. I loved the personality he had and how he lightened up the mood. I loved his involvement in the Laughing Sisters. I loved every single one of the Laughing Sisters. I wanted to be a part of the Laughing Sisters because I would laugh with them too. I'd gossip and everything with them. I love to gossip. And now we are down to the top two of the cast, the second place and the first place. Why don't y'all go ahead and make your guesses who my second and first place is? Go ahead, make a guess. Who do you think? I'm going to say who the first place is and who the second place is, and then I'm going to talk about the second place first. So, in first place, we have, drum roll please, Changyu. Changyu. Yes, Changyu. Changyu! And in second place, we have Enchan. Enchan is the second place. And honestly, Enchan and Changyu, in my opinion, are the ones who really suffered and were hurt the most in this whole experience. But I felt very close to them. I felt a very special bond with them. And they deserve so much more than they got. And they're my two favorites of everyone in the cast. So first of all, Enchan. I've seen Enchan before on a YouTuber's channel. There's this YouTuber that I subscribe to. I've been following him for like 3 years now. Namgyu. I think he's really cool. He has some really amazing content. And I saw Enchan on that channel once before. And Enchan introduced himself on that channel as a top. And I would just say this, it's not giving top. Oh my God, okay. That's, woo! No, it's not giving top at all, but that's fine. Okay, I'm not trying to assume anybody's sexual position or anything. It's just, it really gives bottom energy all the way. But let's not talk about that. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Enchan as a person, and I love Enchan. He is so adorable, honestly. From the very beginning, he already had the person that he was interested in, and I loved that conviction that he had. He was very interested in Hyukjun, and he stuck with Hyukjun all the way to almost to the end. But he had expressed his interest in Hyukjun, and he was very direct with Hyukjun because they went on a date together, and he was like, I called you, but you never said anything about it. And Hyukjun is like, actually, I wanted to choose you for a date. And he got all happy about that, but Hyukjun was just playing him because Hyukjun liked attention, and Hyukjun was getting the attention from Enchan. Anyway, so Enchan really liked Hyukjun, and he was really set on Hyukjun. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him because Hyukjun turned over to Hyun, who had also expressed interest in Hyukjun and gone on a date with Hyukjun. But then there was also Jungho and Sanyo who were interested in Hyukjun as well. He was just getting all the attention, and he was happy getting all the attention, Mr. Narcissist. And Enchan was left hurt. I don't know, it was really heartbreaking for me because I thought Enchan was a great person and he deserved better. Enchan used to be in a K-pop group. He told us about his experience in the K-pop group and why he had to leave the K-pop group. And that was really sad, honestly. That was a really sad experience. But I'm happy that he's living a good and happy life now as a department store manager or something like that. Enchan was also part of the Laughing Sisters. And that was such a great group. He was such a great addition to that group because Enchan is very, and I live for it. I wasn't expecting that from him. Honestly, I really wasn't. But he was very that, and I was like all into it because he was, yeah. I really like Enchan. It's hard for me to say what I really want to say, but just get that the main idea is Enchan was great. He was hurt and it was unfortunate, but he was great. At the very end, they had like a little interview and he cried in the interview because he got to really grow a special bond with the members in the show. And it was just really sad that it had come to an end, and that really made me cry too, because at the end of the day, I realized that Enchan was just a very pure soul. He was really just himself, unapologetically. He was very just open and just who he was, and I loved it. Also, there was a moment where him and Jungho, they went to spy on Changmin. Because Changmin went surfing with Hyun. And him and Jungho went to spy on Changmin and Hyun to make sure there was no funny business happening. And that was just a really cute moment because like he was like, you could tell he's like, I'm gonna be there for you. Like he's there for his friends. He is like so supportive and all of that. But it was so funny because right after they left, Hyun and Changmin started holding hands. But anyway, Enchan gets second place. And in first place, we have Kim Changyu! Woo! Congratulations, Kim Changyu. You are our first place winner. Ilton winner. I love Changyu so much. Honestly, Changyu was the second youngest of the group, but in my personal opinion, I think Changyu was the most mature of the entire group. Emotionally, the most emotionally mature of the entire group. This man really displayed such emotional maturity, and this man was just, from the very beginning, I was already very drawn to him because he's so handsome, so beautiful, and I love the little tattoos that he has. He has some really cool tattoos. Anyway, but he had like he had developed an interest in Sanyo, and he got really close to Sanyo. And Changyu already said it from the beginning that when he likes someone, he will take the initiative. Like he will be direct about it, and that's what he did with Sanyo. And he was really flirty with Sanyo, and Sanyo turned him down, which was kind of sad. But what I really appreciated was that he took the hint, because they had that little discussion, and Sanyo was like, "You might be missing out from getting to know other people." Sanyo wasn't making it clear that he didn't like Changyu. But Changyu knew, like he got the hint, and he knew that just Sanyo wasn't interested in him like that, which was kind of a bit hurtful, but he was okay. Oh, the other thing I really hated that Sanyo did was right after that, they had to call each other again, and Changyu called Sanyo, and because Sanyo was the only person that he really felt close to. So he called Sanyo, and then Sanyo was like, "I was thinking about you." What the fuck? You weren't thinking about him. You literally just turned him down only to be like, "I was thinking about you." That really pissed me off, because like, why are you doing that? Why are you being so, I really hated it. Anyway, Changyu was amazing. He was also caught in between that little fight that happened. I guess it wasn't really a fight, but the whole tension that happened between Sanyo and Jungho. And I felt really sad for him because Changyu liked Sanyo at one point, and also really liked Jungho because Jungho really took care of him and everything. And And here he was caught between these two fighting over another guy. So I felt really sad for him. Um, and then when Sanyo tried to apologize to him, but it wasn't even a real apology. It was such a stupid apology because he was like, this has nothing to do with you. So I'm not mad at you or anything. But that doesn't really mean anything. Like, you just really made him completely uncomfortable and you're saying it has nothing to do with him. So what? You're still making him uncomfortable. So I felt really bad for Changyu. But then he went on the little like boat ride with the kayaking thing with Jungho. And I'll be honest, I really liked that moment because that's when I could really see his emotional maturity, because they went on that kayak ride together and he was very direct with Jungho and told Jungho that he liked him. And he told Jungho that he felt very grateful to him because he had been taking care of him and everything. And Jungho was like, well, you know I like someone else, right? And Changyu was like, yes, I know. And I'm not really expecting anything. Like, I'm not trying to get you to like me or to choose me or whatever. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you, and I just want to tell you that I like you. And I don't know, it made me just really feel sad for him because that maturity, it was amazing. And then at the end, he didn't get paired with anyone, which was really sad. I felt so bad because he was the first one who had to go make a call, and he was the first one who didn't get paired with anyone. And I was like, this is so sad. And he had to do it in front of all of them. But when they had their little exit interview, I like what he said. He said he had learned a lot from that experience. He had learned a lot about love. Not about receiving love himself, but about the different ways that people express their love to each other. And I just thought it took a lot of maturity for him to be able to say something like that, because I mean, it is clear that he didn't receive very much love at all, even though he deserved it. He very much deserved it, in my opinion. But he was still able to learn just from the other people around him. So Changyu really has my heart, honestly. I want to be such good friends with him, and I want him to know that he deserves the whole world. He's amazing. He's the best. He's so great. Oh, by the way, Changyu has been in BL. Well, it's not really a BL, but it's like a show. It's called Discipline Z Vampire. He was an actor in it, and I went to go watch it because I was like, Changyu is an actor. Let's go see it. He is not a good actor. He is not a good actor at all. He is such a terrible actor. That acting was trash. Actually, the entire show was trash. It was awful. I watched all of it because I'm like that. But that's fine. He might not be a good actor, but he's a great person, and I absolutely love him. And he comes in first place in my heart from the entire show. I would totally 100% be friends with him because he's amazing. He deserves the world. Unfortunately, he couldn't get to receive a lot of love from all those trifling ass motherfuckers in the show, but that's fine because he's gonna receive a lot of love from a lot of fans who really love and appreciate him. And so I want you to know, Changyu, I love you, baby. You're the best. 사랑해요. That concludes my ranking of the cast members of the show. Now, for just a general review of the show, it was great. 10 out of 10 would recommend anyone to watch it. It was absolutely amazing. The progression of the show was great. The producers did a great job with it. The tasks that they had to complete were good. The dates that they had were great. There's definitely room for improvement, for sure. There's more that could be done. I'm not saying that it was perfect in every way, but it was amazing for what it is. For the first ever gay Korean dating reality show. It was absolutely amazing, and I was there for all of it. I watched every single episode. I was so into it, and I would absolutely 100% recommend it to all of you guys to watch. So go check out His Man. It's on IQIYI. I don't know how to say that thing. Go check out His Man on IQIYI. Watch every episode. Get to know each of the members and get to love them as much as I do. Genuinely, I have so much respect for every single one of them. The rankings I did has nothing to do with who they are as individuals. It's just based on things I saw on the show. But I respect every single one of them because it took so much courage for them to come out and do this, because they had to put themselves out there into the world. And a bunch of them even said on the show that they hadn't come out to their family and to their friends, but they still decided to do the show and to come on and all of that. And I respect them for putting themselves out there like that. They're absolutely amazing. I followed them on Instagram, and y'all can follow me too on Instagram. My Instagram is Danny_EJAY. So go ahead and give me a follow. And if you liked this video, it's my first ever YouTube video. I don't know how I did, but if you enjoyed it, go ahead and feel free to give me a like, and you can also subscribe because I'm going to be making more videos, and I'm going to be making like live reaction videos to some BLs that I watch and that I enjoy. So go ahead and give me a subscribe, and I would appreciate it. I'm excited to share that experience with all of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!